Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat and today is Thursday, November 5th, 2020. Please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff below the video. You can, of course, support me on Patreon as well and hit that great big blue join button to support me even further if you are so inclined and able. I have to come up with a new way to start my stream now that I am on YouTube. Today I am streaming with the exact same settings as I was on Tuesday. And I have 0 dropped frames today because internet. My internet is a lot better today than it was 2 days ago on the upload rate. For whatever reason. As it turns out, 2 days ago was Election Day in the United States, and we are still counting the votes, and no one has been declared the winner yet on the presidency. But in the state of Virginia, my state, as of this year, starting this year, Election Day is a state holiday. So there may have been a few more people on the internet on Election Day, especially people wanting to watch live election coverage through streaming. So there was that. It may have just been a whole lot of people wanting to use the internet at the exact same time, causing a degradation of service. I'll blame that, and we will move on with our lives today. So, few things I guess to note. One is that I have technically less lighting today. I had these guys. Now, if you watched the monthly update vlog that I posted yesterday, I talked about this. These things are for photography. They are 110 to 130 volt compact fluorescence, 45 watt at 0.6 amp. These do not play. I have 3 lights. They have 4 of these each, of which thus far I would only have 2 of them on in each of the lights at any given time. And it was too much. It was way too much to have 6 of these on at the same time. So, I've taken out the ones that are not on, the ones that were on, half of them. So now I only have the 3 that are actually on. And it is enough for purpose. I've had to readjust a few settings on the webcam to compensate for the lower luminosity. But yeah, it's good. My eyes are appreciative of the lower overall luminosity in this room because yeah, when I have these lights on, it does end up hurting my eyes even during the course of a normal stream. And if you also consider that I record videos for YouTube that are not live, it's a lot of time on really harsh, bright lights shining in my eyes, specifically the 2 that are on each side in front of me. There's one right overhead. I can grab it. That's shining on the green screen behind me. And yeah, it was just a little bit too much, and it was making my eye floaters perpetually noticeable. And with some time not having that bright light shining in my eyes after these few days here, and having this lower luminosity change on these lights, not noticeable anymore on my eyes. Eye floaters are always there. It's just that when you've had bright light in the eyes, they become more noticeable, and it's fine now. It's fine now. I'm good to go. So, the game of Factorio today with our super buttery smooth 6 megabit connection on the upload with 0 dropped frames. I am happy to see that. I wish it was at 10, but we'll go with 6 for now because I know that we can do 6 on a somewhat regular basis, for the exception of, major day of usage on Election Day in the United States on Tuesday. What did we do last time? Last time we met, and also there is something I do need to make sure that I check over the course of this stream, and that is the monetization status. I need to make sure from time to time that we are not limited, because the last stream we ended up limited. At some point, I get no notification of when this happens. I just have to check and notice and submit for review. It was that previous stream when we met on Tuesday has been reviewed, and the monetization is now full and going again as per usual. Not a single one of my videos on my channel that are monetized have limited monetization. Not a single one at this point in time. So I found that very odd that the last stream would have limitation through the automated system. Maybe me just talking about it will make it limited, but who knows at this point. I will be checking periodically. So, when we did meet last time, the base expanded a little bit. Here's our current state of base. That is quite a lot of text from the train stations on the screen right now. There's a good thing you can toggle these things on and off through a button right here. I rarely use this button. I can delete that because I know what this is at this point. That particular location. I don't need to have the pollution thing on. But yeah, what we ended up doing was setting up a wood factory on the network, setting up a tinned wire coil factory, and setting up the basic circuit boards as well as basic electronic boards on my train network. So all of those are good to go right now. It looks like I am limited a bit on those tinned coils as they are getting made to keep up with the production of the basic electronic boards. That's fine. I'm okay with that. It's just waiting on the tin train to load up to actually get enough copper, because that's the other thing that's going on right now. For these two things making circuits, I am demanding far more copper than I am currently making, and I'm making a fair amount of copper. I do have a lot of copper that is getting made. It's just aren't enough ingots to go around between this using copper and this using copper, etc., and bronze using copper. Lots of stuff is demanding those ingots. I have one train getting loaded with ingots right now for copper, and yeah, that train is stuck because I didn't go and place those signals properly. That'll be the first thing to fix. Let's get those signals. I am carrying around the signals. Yes, I am doing that. First error to take care of. Oops. I broke a thing. I also can enlarge my mall's train station by bringing in the circuits, the basic circuit boards, and the basic electronic boards. Once I do that, it is time to get stone and stone bricks onto the train network as I begin the process of getting stuff on the network, as well as getting into like military science, which I think is something I want to do earlier rather than later, and getting into crystal catalysts. I have completely forgotten the reason why I wanted to get into military science. Because blasting charges, so that I can make water tiles on demand. That is what I need this for. I will need to actually make cliff explosives, which means I will need to actually make explosives. Coal, sulfur, and purified water. I would have to do that at sulfuric acid. Because this is the only area right now that I have sulfur. If I clear out of this, could you get rid of all of that? Sulfur, in all caps. Sulfur is going to be needed for explosives for chemical science anyway. Which means I probably just want a sulfur factory, and I'm going to need to spend it to do the nickel pellet processing, which is the highest of the initial refining going into the ingots. So I will want this. It goes into nickel carbonyl and then into ingots through blast furnaces. This is all in blast furnaces. And it loops ingots. You actually end up with 18 net ingots out of this because you have to loop 6 back from the 24 out to keep it going. Interesting little math there. There's a couple of Angel's processing methods to get into ingots that actually reuse the ingots you're producing. So in order to actually start the system, you need an initial supply of ingots from a previous tier processing of those ingots. Just so we all are clear on that, I need to go... Where was it again that I needed to go? I've already forgotten. It was all the way over here, down. It was those tinned coils. Right, I've gone and, like, autopiloted over to here when I needed to go to the south. So, there's no chats right now. That's a thing. Hello, people, viewers. Viewers! Hello! I see your existence and I know you're there. Let's get some engagement going. How are people? Are people tired? Did anyone stay up all night for election coverage? I did not stay up all night for election coverage. On the day of the election, it was about 1:32 in the morning that I got up, that I went to bed. And did not regret going to bed. Just so that we're clear on that. Hello! Hello. Welcome. I did not regret going to bed. And then yesterday I went to bed at around 11 to read. About an hour later than usual. Just continuing to follow election coverage, and then I get up today, and nothing of note had changed. But they're still talking. The same... a lot of the election coverage right now is just the same points being made over and over and over again. They just keep repeating the same exact lines over and over and over again, and it's wearing a little thin. to be honest. It's like, yeah, sure, I get it. I get it. I know they have to repeat some stuff for people who are coming in who haven't been paying attention, but holy... Like, people have been paying attention, right? There comes a point where it's repetition for the sake of repetition, says the person who repeats everything over and over and over and over again for people who are brand new to the channel coming in to see the content and tries to catch folks up with what's going on. Yeah. Hypocritical! Calling it now. Hypocritical! Calling out, getting bored from the repetition. Okay, anyway. Oh, that didn't... Do I have rail? Yes, finish that train station. Like, please. Please finish this train station. This is going to be my stone. And stone brick. To be completely honest, I'm gonna just shift one of those over to be stone brick. I am, however, before we get into the stone and stone brick, I am going to scale my electrolysis for slag. That is the thing to do first and foremost. Also, this thing is not particularly designed for being a T intersection like this. Now, why do I say that? It's because, say that I have a train going from here down or up. How can it go down? Well, it has this path here. This outside path is the path that trains will take if they're coming in, moving towards the right and trying to go down, making a right-hand turn. They're gonna take this route. They're gonna take this route unless there's a whole bunch of trains. This is so many rail signals to block off stuff, to shove trains through. They're always gonna take this path. They're not gonna go all the way over and then down. And I'm gonna sneeze. I got that button in time. Yay. They're always going to take this outside path if they're going down. Now, what happens if they want to go up and they're coming from that same direction? They don't have an outside path that they can take. They go all the way over this way and they take this segment right here. This segment right here to go up, over, and up. So they go a little S-bend turn right here to go up. And there's no alternatives for them to go of short distance. There is no alternate path, and that is one of my slightest of niggling issues with this, is that, well, it's designed to be this big four-way intersection in reality, and it is very high throughput for that four-way intersection. It's just I worry about its use and utility as a T intersection for overall throughput. It might be fine. It might be fine, but any train that's trying to make a left-hand turn is going to stop traffic down the straight line. Any train that's trying to go straight down will get blocked by trains trying to go and make a left-hand turn. The alternative is also true. Trains going straight down will block the trains trying to make a left. They won't block trains making a right all that much. But that might just be an issue for very high throughput systems, which we are not even remotely close at this point in time to having to worry about that potential throughput issue on that rail segment. This is my busiest intersection Don't get me wrong, this is the busiest intersection in the entire base right now. I think maybe here and here might at some point be pretty high, but yeah, this is the big one. And one that I would consider making a full 4-way, maybe have to move this wood factory over a few and move the fuel stop up a few. But anyway, Mall, hello. I'm here. I have arrived. I need to pick up a few things to expand this doohickey. So this, I need to upgrade the inserters. That's step 1 to make sure that I get the full throughput belt, yellow belt here. And after that, I need to continue by doubling it. Yeah. Now, this is a great time to use an upgrade planner to upgrade from these inserters to what? What do I want to upgrade to? Probably these stack inserters, the fast stack inserters. Interesting ordering here. And I'm just going to do that, and that's going to upgrade just the standard inserters to fast stack inserters. Now, what's also going to happen is that I need to upgrade the filter inserters to fast stack filter inserters. And that's going to upgrade all of the remaining inserters here, which means I need some filter stack inserters, fast filter stack inserters, which I have. And I have stack inserters. Now, do I have enough fast stack filter inserters? Probably not. It might be good to have a couple of stacks available of those, just in case I need them at massive scale. Absolute massive scale. And yeah, just the regular inserters. I'm probably not going to use them. I'm going to just use them in favor of the stacks from here on out. Just always stack inserters for throughput. Give me throughput. All of it. Grab another stack of those. Grab these. Shove them into the vehicle as well. Shove other stuff into the vehicle, probably. Yeah, let's get rid of all that. Shove in some of these, and that's my vehicle full. Hey, cool. Get rid of this strand casting type stuff. And those, I need what now? For this? What amount of stuff and things? Because I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna just double. Do you like double? I like double. Double is awesome. Question is, up? Sure. Up. Is that aligned? No, of course not. That is accurate. Yep, that's good. Now, red belt. The concept of using red belt. Oh boy. Let's take all of the red belt that I have. Plus. Because I need more throughput, but if I double this, I technically need more throughput even than a red belt. I need 2 yellow belts worth, which would be the equivalent of the blue in Bob's mods here, because here a yellow belt is 30 and a red belt is 45, and I technically need 60 on the throughput here. And more underground belt as well. That doesn't leave me with much room. I can clear a bit more of this inventory. Do I need regular... Yes, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these. I need a whole bunch of clarifiers. 10 total on the hydro plants. I have at least that, yes. 10 total hydro plants, at least 14 chem plants. I have that, and I need 40 electrolyzer 2s. That's 40. And of course, all of the pipe on the planet. Just so much pipe. Yeah, that would be 368, 364. I'm carrying around not that. Hello, Ave! Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Today is definitely a day with 0 dropped frames, and I am very happy. Anyway, where's my stuffs? That's enough of those. The problem is getting enough of these while still having inventory space. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let me get rid of a few thingies. Taking up space I don't necessarily need to hold on to a lot of right now. Get rid of that partial stack of stuff. Oh hey, I need water wells. Sheesh. Get rid of those steel piped grounds so that I can get more stone. 100, 200, 350, 400. There we go. That should be good on the pipe. What about the clarifiers and the flare stacks? I'm not carrying around clarifiers. I need more water. Water wells! Stone water wells! Let's see. It's 4, 5, 6. Oh, goodness. 6 stone water wells and 16 clarifiers. We're cutting it close. I think I'm still gonna have to come back for something for this scaling. So, I recorded more Factorio yesterday, and there'll be more videos going up starting today and tomorrow, as per usual, daily videos. The next 2 videos are very much focused on getting into fusion energy in Factorio, so you have that to look forward to. The one that'll go live today is focused on getting tritium built. Don't actually get any tritium, but I do start up. It's the factory's finished. It is producing tritium. I'm just waiting on Kovarex to give me enough extra U-235 to make tritium. You've seen today's, but today for me, like the video that goes live in, the video that I have to still upload that goes live in, 10 hours, 9.5 hours from now. I can math sometimes. Yeah, and you wrote in a comment I saw, Abe, about using nuclear to feed other... using the fusion to feed other fusion. I address that in my next video that is going to go live. But I will just say now, that uses more deuterium fuel cells. Like, that uses more tritium. You are using your uranium in that circumstance, and I try to design around not using a non-renewable resource like that. And yes, it's all going to be superfluous because of the fact that antimatter power is coming. Antimatter is coming. So I prefer building with perpetual power in mind, and I know inherently nuclear, the fusion in Factorio is not inherently perpetual, because you have to keep mining the U-235, the uranium, for the tritium, and you have to keep producing the lithium for the tritium, etc. Right? There's all this stuff. It uses an entire 0.2 extra fuel cells if you're using a fusion reactor to power 4 fusion reactors. If you're providing perpetual power to the initial reactor. Like, yeah, the 2 gigawatts can supply the power to get into 8 gigawatts through 4 additional nuclear reactors, but then you have 5 fusion reactors needing fuel cells, so you need to spend an entire 1 fuel cell to get 8 out. 8 gigawatts out. Which I'm trying to get the full 10 out that the 1 per second of the fuel cell is supposed to provide. Oh, so you've now posted a antimatter power. Okay. Okay. Wait, what? Did I toss the filter stacks? Or just use all of them? I must have used all of them. Yeah, I must have used all of them for those upgrades there, but I will place down what I have on me. I won't be able to use a lot of matter tech because of the power demands by the matter plant and matter assembler. Well, yeah. I mean, that was apparent to me that the whole concept of doing stuff with matter in Factorio is not... It's more like the concept behind Tholins in the Pi Suite, right? Where it's supposed to be it's a big power expense to create stuff from nothing. That you're basically creating stuff from from nothing on demand, and it's meant to cover a bottleneck more than anything else. Meant to compensate for bottlenecks. Anyhoozle. This actually needs to die. Yeah, I mean, and that's how I've thought of the entire matter system in Factorio from the very beginning, is that, oh, this is like Tholins from the Pi Suite. This is a means of filling gaps in your production that you may have trouble with. For example, if you're using biters, right? You may end up in a circumstance where you're not necessarily able to get into something that you should otherwise that you otherwise need, but you don't need a lot of it. You just need some of a thing. It's a good way of getting some of a thing without going through the effort of making the full thing, just by using the matter to convert from a free thing to another thing at the cost of a lot of power to do it. Yes, and independent power is incredibly safe. Incredibly safe. Which is why I prefer doing it that way. Oh hey, get rid of all that wood. That's taking up a lot of inventory space. And these electrolysis doohickeys! It's extremely polluting, yeah. I don't care about pollution. I really don't care. Because I don't have biters. If you have biters, that is another part of the cost, yes. Pollution would be part of the cost to compensate for the ease of making stuff out of matter. But, it's fine. It's fine. Everything will be great and awesome and magnificent and glorious. Everything will be glorious. How are you doing? I need the filter. I need filters. I need filter stacks. Did I end up putting it in the vehicle? No. I just used all of them really fast. I need filter stack inserters. And apparently I need to get rid of regular inserters, and I need to get more medium power poles here to keep doing this. So right now I am doubling my slag output up to 60 slag per second. This is going to give me a buffer, more slag than I'm currently using by double, so that I can set up stone production out of slag and stone brick out of slag. And the rest of the slag is just going to keep getting used for the mineral catalysts, because I need lots of mineral catalysts. I need a lot of them. And since I am sorta running out of space here, I think I've got room for another set to go up to 90 per second off of this infrastructure. After this, if I want to build more infrastructure, I'm going to have to make another train station somewhere else for slag. I am only at Mark II, though. It will very much change when I get access to higher mark levels and when I get access to modules. Bob's modules change everything in one of these playthroughs. Yes, it's a lot of infrastructure to get stuff in sufficient quantities right now, but once you get high-tiered buildings with high-tiered modules, it just everything explodes. Like literal boom explosion. You'll be able to max out like tick rate on machines, single entity machines, and it's just glorious. It's absolutely wonderful and magnificent and glorious. I think I need even more than 100 of these filter stacks. There are technically 80 plus 76, because I have to still run... What? Oh, it's not counting the ones to mark that are marked to upgrade. Yeah, so I still need a bunch of these. Yes, tremendous power there's always tremendous power consumption. Yes, the modules are going to have tremendous power consumption. I am pretty sure. What did I... Hold up. My mod settings. Startup settings. Bob's modules. Bob's modules. I have the productivity limitations. I do not have God modules. I have pure productivity. I have pure speed. Okay, so I do have those for this playthrough. I do not have speed on productivity. I do not have transmit productivity. Where is... I apparently have the green modules. Where is power consumption? I honestly thought I didn't have pure productivity on. Because pure productivity and pure speed changes a lot about the power equation. They inherently, I don't think, have a power penalty. Yeah, the pure ones don't have a power penalty. They're basically combined effectivity and speed, and effectivity and productivity. I didn't quite realize in my mind or remember that I had those enabled. The reason is that when I was playing the Pi block series, I did not have these pure modules enabled because they are real good when you don't have that energy consumption on there. However, level 8 level 8 speed is 80, energy consumption 160 speed. 160 speed without the power. Now I could choose to do the energy consumption one, but I don't think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna save entities. Power is not actually a problem in Angels and Bobs. It's not like it's a joke with power with all these upgraded steam engines and such. Like right now I'm on the level 2 steam engines, but eventually there's nuclear and like regular vanilla nuclear stuff, and it just yeah. And there's now the whole Bob's thorium upgraded nuclear stuff, and it's just gonna be great. It's gonna be great going forward. So I was just hanging out here so that I could get more of these fast filters. If I had Bebs, hey, give me more. That's 122. 122. And I need... what is... so that's 156. And I'm pretty sure I already placed 50, so I should be fine. Let's go. Let's finish this. Oh, I'm going, and I didn't grab one really important thing that I need to grab while I'm here, outside of those filter stack inserters, excuse me. And that is to get more of the electrodes. I need these. A few of them. Just a few of them. They're really important to have these electrolyzer electrodes. Off we go! Out yonder. Oh, by the way, there's like no techs I can currently actually do. I need to get into phenolics. Yes, I need to get into phenolic boards, as well as ferric chloride solution. And you need the splinters. Oh, joy. Harmonic, polished red, polished green, polished blue. Where even is the harmonic? There? That uses all three? So this would come from artificial fish water. And that gives you a raw crystal splinter 40% of the time. And a crystallizer. Okay. This is giving you everything plus a crystal powder. Cut blue splinter to polished with a grindstone. Only a 2/3 chance of getting your grindstone back, and you need crystal slurry? Cool. Let's spend crystal slurry for this in this way. On top of the... That's on top of the crystal slurry to get the actual gemstones for the later levels of the full modules. Yeah, it's because we needed to make modules even more expensive in Angels. Yes, let's make Bob's modules even more expensive for everyone. And the crystal grindstones use the crystal powder. Okay, I get it. But there's a little bit of a logistical problem in that, yeah, you sort of have to deal with excess of any one of these three, / any one of these four, and you may end up with too much crystal powder. Here, we get crystal dust, not crystal powder. That is, dust is out of the geodes. Dust is from geodes, not the dust there. And then this will give you a raw crystal splinter out of crystal seed. Guaranteed, so you get rid of that 40% output for the polluted artificial fish water, and I have access to this right now, immediately. You just need that seeded dish, which is probably a problem. Which is probably a major problem. I don't know where this gets the seeded dish. Out of here, alien bacteria, substrate, cellulose paste, Petri. Hey, it's the Pie Suite again. Hello. Hello, Pie Suite. Hello, incubated Petri dishes. Hello, empty Petri dishes. So this is the Petri dish with the substrate in it, the agar. Our cellulose paste. This is the one with the agar. This is the incubated version, and then this is the empty Petri dishes. Pie alien life, welcome with Angel's bioprocessing. Calcium carbonate. Why do they even have that as the icon? It's like that should be like shells and things. Here's the thing, though. It's the same person. Modders don't get influenced by each other. This is literally King Arthur. This is King Arthur. This is King Arthur working on these two mods at the same time, and getting the idea from Pyanodon. I'm sure Pi came up with the thoughts of this, but ultimately, and then it was King, because he was working on it and saw it, just has brought it over to alien bioprocessing. I'm always going to blame King for any of the stuff that looks like the Pie Suite in Angel's mods. It's 100% King Arthur's fault. And this is more of that fish water to get into spores and sulfuric wastewater into with hydrochloric acid. Okay. Chlorine processing and calcium carbonate processing and all of that. Yay, it's beautiful. Yes, King Arthur's working with Angel's mods development. And he's always to blame. He's part of the team that's working with Angel's mods at this point in time. Or I don't know if he's still working with Angel's mods at this point in time, but he is part of that. Because over this past year, Angel hasn't been as active on the actual development of it because he had a kid. He had baby. So that obviously meant not as much time on Angel's hands to continue working on the mods. There's just a little bit less time was available after that, you know? So a team, many people came in to work with Angel's mods to keep improving it, adding things. King Arthur was among them. So of course King Arthur is going to be blamed for literally everything that looks like the Pie Suite. Of particular note, I do know that Angels is technically standalone at this point. Hello, my dolly. She's coming. She's saying hello. Yes, and complaining. Hello. Hello, my dolly. You want to just... she wants to just lay down and be comfy next to me. Yes, that is my pretty dolly. My prettiest pretty dolly. So that should be that. This should... Hello? Hello? Behind me. That's the girl. The dolly. How's she doing? Dolly's doing okay. She's very playful. Very, very active. Very, very active. So let's see. What would be the problem over here? The problem is that I have insufficient number of cathodes. She's a climber. She's a climber. Here, you want to go on the bookcase, don't you? Ba-ba. There she goes. She wanted bookcase. And was like clawing my green screen to get past it. It was slightly blocking her. The lanes are gonna... They'll work themselves out. Okay, do I have green lights over here? Still no? Even after adding all that, still not all? There's some green light. There's a few green lights. I just heard this bat from like a knocking on the wall, and I see it's Dolly sitting on the bookcase, scratching. She's scratching, and she's hitting the wall with each scratch with her paw. It sounds like knocking on the wall. Yes, you know what I'm talking about, you? With your meows? More cathodes. More electrodes, I mean. The opposite. These are electrodes. These are the electrodes. They're not the other things. Go, go, go. More! More on this belt. More! Yes, the election is ongoing. It is ongoing. Things are not changed yet. Not ready to announce anything. No one is ready to announce a thing. Not enough counting. Nowhere near enough counting done. Quite yet. How are we doing on that monetization? We are still on and normal. Good. Let us continue. I'm assuming I need more on this line. That's pretty good actually. I'll just add more. Always more. More. And then up here, same thing. All the rest. Actually, take that stack. That'll be the most important change in here. Alright, how are we doing on all of the placing of the everything? Have 23 of the stack inserters left. Cool. Filter stack inserters left. This should be it. I think this is it. That we're good here. May have been a few too many thingies. Maybe a few too many. Let's get rid of all those. And then let that go. How are we doing with our lights? Glorious, wonderful, beautiful lights. Really? It's still not enough. Now, here's the thing. That last one at the very end is only supposed to be active 40% of the time or so. So even though that one on the end is not always good, we should be at the correct rate here. It is 15 per second in, 15 per second out on the electrodes, and that is a lane of belt. I do have red belt to have some leeway, so you know what? I've got some red belt. Let's use some red belt and get the leeway with the throughput. We've got an extra 7.5 units per second of leeway here. This will put the limit on the slag output itself. This will be just a factor of the slag. I don't have enough red belt to do this for all of them, though. So let's keep this in mind. These little roundabouts are a lot of belt segments. Yes, I could replace with undergrounds. Particularly this top segment here could be underground belt, but I'm not going to bother. Because that's just going to pick up everything that's on the belt right now, and yeah. Yeah. Can be problematic. Slash a major annoyance. Okay, this is the additional stuff, and I would say that it's done. At this point, it's done. It's actually maybe a few too many electrodes. Just a couple too many. Just a few. Just a few. As long as it can output everything onto that inside lane, we're good. Yeah, this is a few too many. We are blocked here because there are a few physically too many. We'll see what happens as I upgrade the belt. But if there is simply too many, that would mean that I would actually consider doing this here to reduce the segments of belt and to pick up a few of the excess items. Now everything should equalize. Oh hey, there's I need some flare stack. Flare stacks? They need to exist. I have one flare stack. Okay. Good to know. So I've ended up with a few more things. For my trains. The train. There is a train. I'm going to add another train. And because the throughput is much higher now, this is going to take more stuff in each wagon than previously. Give it some stuff. This will be slag. Supplied to depot, full cargo, and circuit condition, and it's gonna go and do things and be beautiful. And magnificent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 2,000. 4,000. Divided by up to 60. Yeah, that's like a minute's worth of production if full yellow belts, but not quite full yellow belts. You get the point. About a minute and a half worth of production to fill each train to the brim. The absolute brim with slag. Also, interesting, these are both actually limited to the single full line there. Alright, we can now plan for stone and stone brick. So, 1-to-1 to get into stone from slag. I need to crush the slag. I can ignore the electrolyzer process there. 1-to-1, I could do 15 and then convert half of it into stone bricks, and that is going to last me for until the end of time, basically. Stone itself doesn't get used for too awfully much outside of from the mall. I mean, concrete through cement processing 3 would be a thing to consider, or 2, excuse me, from the tech at processing 3. The molten concrete into bricks and actual concrete by adding even more stone bricks and reinforced, that doesn't exactly need to have stone. It's stone, cement, sand, water to get 120. Just 120 versus slag, cement, water, which I have the slag on my train network to get into concrete. The cement itself is going to be silicon lime, or iron, silicon lime, alumina. Hey, guess what I need to put onto my train network? Some alumina as well as the ingots. At wherever station I'll be making the aluminium ingots, I'll need the alumina as well to be provided onto the network. We make both of these. It's also a product of silane gas, but this is a loop because alumina is carbon, just alumina plus carbon. You can think of silane as a carbon. It's just you spend carbon through this alumina ingot process loop to, as well as hydrogen. It's basically carbon hydrogen into silane, and then into the ingots after that from silane. So off we go to the mall to pick up what I need for this. And of course I need the furnaces as well, and fuel for the furnaces to process said stone into stone brick. Glorious stone brick. Now I realize that stone brick as well only used at the mall effectively, but it is used to make wall. It's used to make walls for the military science. That's the only reason I need it, is the walls for the military science. For the explosives, for the water anywhere, so I can have the viscous mud water anywhere for the processing to get into the crystal catalysts. That's my current plan that I'm working towards, is I want crystal catalysts. To get into crystal catalysts, I'm going to need geode processing. To get geodes, I need to use the seafloor pumps. And to use the seafloor pumps, I need water. And this map, I have no water besides the starting water in here. Nothing besides starting water. And I'm going to need a lot of stuff involving processing of the seafloor pumps mud water, viscous mud water. So I have a mod that gives me water anywhere. It is the explosive excavation mod, which is a little bit better balanced than just like stone water wells is. And it's one of the few things that I could actually use to make a water tile at some expense, so that I can place down the seafloor pump where I need to. And I think the seafloor pump is a little bit bigger. It uses, it's a 2x2, so it needs 2 tiles of water minimum to place that seafloor pump, I think, if not more than that. So, in order to get these explosives for explosive excavation, I need a few things. But in particular, I need military science to even unlock that tech and that recipe to begin with. I also need explosives for cliff explosives, and that means I need sulfur for the cliff explosive, for the explosives to begin with. I need coal, sulfur, purified water. Now, I was thinking of getting, like, somehow making this locally up where I'm doing my sulfur, my sulfuric acid, which would make sense because I also have the coal, right? It's like, okay, I have the coal. This is my sulfuric acid right here. I have the coal, I have the sulfur being made out of the coal getting processed in here, and I'm just voiding the coke that gets produced out of this. Is just a big void line. Basically, it just takes in boilers the coke, cools it into pure water, and then voids the pure water. Hey, guess what? Explosives? Coal, sulfur, pure water. Pure water! Consistent source of pure water as long as the sulfuric acid is getting consumed, which, it's gonna get consumed all the time because it's being used to make the mineral catalysts. Right? It gets used for the mineral catalyst, but I don't want to depend on this constantly moving, so we're gonna have some purified water being produced. And I actually produce some purified water by making the sulfur now, don't I? So I can stick the voiding behind a valve and use the water from here, because this has to move for the sulfur to be produced. And yeah, just bring some coal over. I'll have explosives. I can load the explosives on my train network and send them to my mall, I guess, so that I can make cliff explosives. The thing is, I want the sulfur on my train network, because I need sulfur for the blue science, right? I need sulfur for chemical science packs, and I've got coal on my train network already, so I can just load the sulfur, right, in my train station. I'll have to change this train station around if I want to actually load in another thing, because I need to add another loading station on, but I can do that quite easily. I could just add another one of these, like right up above it, and just shove sulfur in and have a double station. In fact, that's what I'll do. I will take my blueprint here. It won't line up exactly because pipe. I can shift the pipe. What am I thinking? I can shift the pipe, or I can build right there. Just a little bit higher. Build that, and then straight rail segment the way down. This does not need to be a T intersection, but signals is the problem there, so I will upgrade to T intersection. There is something to be said for having a right angle Y on this blueprint book. I think that's one thing that is missing. It's like the right angle Y just without these. Just without these, this S bend here, and this guy. That I think would make a good addition to this blueprint book, but I'll live with what I got here. So that'll be that for the sulfur in. I still need to set up this stone factory, so I will do that next. Let's get rid of these electrolyzer electrodes, grab some pipe. Lots of things to keep track of here. Let's keep things in some semblance of order. But I do need to add that sulfur on network to my list, as well as explosives. All of that wonderful stuff that needs to get done before I can get into the crystal catalysts. All of that needs to get done before crystal catalysts. Isn't it great? It's fun. F-U-N fun. Now, there is also the idea that I can get the bricks, the clay bricks, onto the train network as well once I get through this, because I can end the lime onto the network, and the sand, and everything that you can make out of the viscous mud water processing can get put onto the train network. Just and like geode stuff. I don't need to get the individual geodes put onto my train network. They're only really gonna get used for crystal slurry. And where I need crystal dust, I'll be making the stuff where I make the crystal dust. Like, I'll make it locally. There's no point for me to have geodes on the train network as they exist. Aha! That's what I was thinking and looking forward to seeing. So there is a way to go into the crystal powder from the dust, and you have to use the milling drum. But how do you use the powder on the regular? You can use excess powder to make crystal slurry. That is one answer to one of the problems I was thinking about with the module stuff and the splinters. And you can mill excess splinters of any type into powder and then use the powder to get into slurry. And grand scheme of things, if you don't have anything to do with the slurry on site, I mean, this reeks of void recipe to me. One powder, one purified water into one crystal slurry. This reeks of void me. This is the void recipe, ultimately, to clear out excess amounts of red, blue, green splinters. Because you have to get them all together, including with the crystal powder. You use the crystal powder to get the polisher to polish these splinters. Note that this is before polishing them that you have to void them. If you polish them, you're done. You can't really do anything else once you polish them. Once they're polished, that's it. There's apparently an agricultural module. Interesting? Sure. But yeah, you can't really do anything else with this outside of making the circuit boards. And if you have enough circuit boards, if you have enough polished, you can't do much anymore with it. So, and because you have this 2/3 chance of getting the crystal grindstone back as well, that is not expending your crystal powder. So you're going to have to figure out a way to deal with excess crystal powder anyway, and that is this here. You deal with the excess crystal powder by doing this, and it does give you a little crystal slurry for, like, something else. Something else? I mean, one crystal slurry, what's that going to do for you? Absolutely jack all. Right? You can use it to help with the polishing. I guess you need 2 crystal slurry to polish. Aha. Okay, well, you get a 1-to-1 transition here. I see. I can see clearly now the intent here. I can clearly see the intent here. So, what you do need milling drums, and you'll need to refuel, quote unquote, your milling drums through a lubricant cost. So you're going to spend lubricant, and you're going to figure out, you have to decide which one of these 3 do I want from this process, always, consistently. Which one do I want? And then the other 2 mill into crystal slurry, and that's your 2 crystal slurry for the polishing of the one that you want. That's your 2 crystal slurry per splinter to make polished. But you're still going to end up with an excess amount of the crystal powder just inherent by the polish process here, giving you that grindstone back 2/3 of the time. And we can't even really think about this until we get into crystal carbide anyway, so that's going to take time. We will need our crystal catalysts before that, before we can even think about any of that, and a whole bunch of other techs related, like further end stuff as well. But yeah, that's my idea going into modules. I'm glad I've taken the time to look at that in detail and figure out how we're going to do things going forward with the modules and the splinters. I'm glad I've figured out how to work with those splinters. Because at first glance, it's like, how do I deal with all of this stuff? Well, actually, it's very easy to deal with all of this stuff. It is actually pretty easy to deal with it. You just need to know and look and process in your mind how to deal with those things. And yeah, it does allow you to choose one. Of course, that does come at a bit of a cost. It's not a good way to get into crystal slurry, right? I could just bring in the crystal slurry from elsewhere, from infinite supplies of crystal slurry, and not have to worry about that loop. But it's there for those who want to do it, and I'm a fan of void everything, so as long as I can clarify this, which I can, I'm good to go. I'm great. I'll just bring in my dedicated crystal slurry production and go from there. And I need these guys. Okay. Because I don't have the electric furnaces yet. That's not gonna be for a while. Which means I would prefer doing this near a source of coal. But I sort of set this up here, this guy. Oh, right, I need more rail, potentially. We shall see. Would be nice to have it near coal, but I think I'm just going to bring coal in. Let's request some. Because I have a lot. I have a lot, and it's not necessarily getting used all that much. I'm barely using half my power, and I've got a whole line of coal here, not even getting used. Oh right, I can red belt. I can red belt and solve a slight issue. But regardless, let's get out of all that planning stuff and build stone. It's actually 4 minutes before the regularly scheduled break. That is just amazing to me. That is pretty amazing. The time has gone by so quickly today. Wow, and we have 0 dropped frames. 0 over the course of the day today. Such a much better overall experience when there's no dropped frames. Yeah, so I would just need to tack on that. And we'd be good. We'd be good. We'd be amazing. Alright. And that, as they say, is that. You are going to supply stone at... Or you're just supplying stone, right. Request slag at stone 1. Request coal at stone 1. And supply stone bricks. I could supply walls, but I need the stone bricks supplied more so than I do the walls. Okay, slag. And coal. I need this. Copy, paste, bring it out. There we go. I like the underground distance on this. It's pretty nifty. Let's have a look. I need 10 ore crusher. I need 8 ore crusher 2s for 15. Yes, 8. They're gonna actually be on this side. So this is gonna take 15 in, and it's gonna make 30 out, which is the entire throughput of a yellow belt. And I'm gonna use loaders, because if I used the stack inserters, they still swing, right? So occasionally it won't give me the full throughput of the thing. This doesn't have a swing speed on it, which makes it infinitely better. What's going to use the stack inserters is on the input. That much is fine, and I'll have one going up and then one going down to the furnace line. And that's gonna split off, give me about 7.5 of the stone per second as stone, and then half of that as stone brick. But it is the halfway point for the day today, which means that it is time to take a brief break. With that, I shall be back in a few minutes. Hello everyone, I have returned. Let us continue. Let us continue with getting our stone and stone bricks. So first step is crushed stone. Then I need the assemblers to assemble. 3 more. 8, 9, and 10. Grab the recipe. Stone! Show me stone. There we go. And just so you're aware, on the screen next to me, I've got some election coverage. So if I occasionally glance over, it's to see, oh, okay. More results come in, but nothing quite decisive yet. Also, Ollie is around. Ollie's here, doing things. I'm gonna shift, not L, N. I'm gonna have that to even the outputs. Yes, even the out. Even out, yes. Logic. So we've got 15. It'll do about 7.5-ish each lane. What am I thinking? That does not go there. This goes here. So that's gonna have one thing going into this guy, and then the other is going to go meet up with coal. And then go this way, and then I need to process 7.5 of the stuff into stone bricks. So that is 6 of these. Right there. Ta-da! And that outputs into the other doohickey. It's a doohickey! The dewest of hickeys. Let's go. That's that one. This will be this one. I have this spacing for this precise reason. Not really, but that's just how it ends up with this exact spacing. See, I can have this be a thing. In reality, if I wanted throughput of belt out and in, that would be a little bit more spacing required. Quite a bit more spacing required, ultimately. But let's see here. Let's see here. How are folks doing? The 8 concurrent viewers. How is everyone? Engaged? Are you entertained? Ish. I would hope so. We're just, you know, making stone. Oops. I hear Dolly with her favoritist of favorite toys right now. Dolly has her favoritist of her not toy toys. And that is bottle cap. Bottle cap! There are several bottle caps, but bottle caps! Dolly's favoritist of favoritist. You've not done an AB playthrough. Worth a try. Yes! Absolutely worth doing Angel's Bobs. The thing to say about that is that it's not the easiest, nor is it the hardest of the mod overhauls. And Angels is going through a lot of changes and updates to be a standalone mod overhaul. previously it was an extension of Bob's and added features that Bob's didn't, and touched and expanded upon, in particular, ore refining and smelting and into petrochemical stuff. Just expanding all of that. Bob's touches a lot of the logistics stuff. It adds several resources in terms of ore types. Angels processes said ore types and makes additional methods to get into the ore types. If you have just Bob's, you can mine the individual ores. So I have to go through this whole process just to get into iron ore due to angels. I have to go through this whole mineral catalyst production and crushing of 2 different mined ores of givelite and sapphirite to get iron. If I had just Bob's, I could just mine iron. I could just mine copper. I could just mine zinc. I can just mine tin and lead and all of that good stuff without having to do extra steps in between. Angels adds a whole bunch of extra steps in between that you have to keep track of, and there's byproducts to deal with, and all of that. It is considered to be very challenging for those who aren't used to the modding of Factorio. If you're used to the Pi suite like I am, which is a lot more complexity, this ends up feeling quite a bit easy. Quite a bit easy. I mean, I've done this particular type of an Angels Bob's playthrough several times before. I haven't done it in over a year, and there's been a lot of updates to Angels in that year, and especially updates to Angels bioprocessing in that year, and it is more approaching stuff that's in the Pi suite, and actually has some stuff that is nearly identical to stuff that is in the Pyanodon's mod suite at this point, because the developer for the Pyanodon's mods is working on Angels as well. So lots of things to consider. There's lots of complexity in this. There is an easier mod overhaul that would be a good start if you're fresh to modding Factorio, and that would be Crastorio. Crastorio 2. That is that feels a lot more like a vanilla plus type of experience. It's very similar to vanilla. It adds its own items, of course. It adds to the complexity, but it doesn't feel like it's fundamentally changed the Factorio experience. Like Angels, like Bob's, like the Pi suite, like space exploration does. It just feels like it's extended the base experience. So I would say if you're fresh to Factorio and fresh to modded Factorio, probably start with Crastorio 2. That seems like a good baseline. Then upgrade into Bob's Angels. And if you hate yourself and want to have a significant logical challenge, if you love building, writing notes to keep track of production chains, if you are really good at using Hellmod, then go into the Pi suite at that point. Very few people have completed a Pi suite game. Very few survive the experience. You're playing Crastorio 2 with space exploration, which is more than enough. Yeah. So by adding space exploration, you have added a lot of complexity to the experience, specifically at the end game. That is a big part of it. And by having space exploration, space exploration in and of itself has a lot of like screw you mechanics. That I do not personally enjoy, and is why I don't play space exploration and won't play it, because it has those screw you mechanics that destroy stuff that you've made for no reason outside of rebuild. Like, oh, you liked those resources? You liked having those resources for that infrastructure? Now spend the resources to rebuild that infrastructure because I said so. Like, no, that's not good design. That's terrible, awful game design. Don't do that. Don't force people to have that. No, that's no. Stone. Supply stone. I need to rename some of these. Depot for stone 1. I'm going to have 2 of those for stone and 1 of these depot stone. Stone bricks 1. And this guy down here needs to be S stone bricks 1. There we go. That shall be that. Stone. D stone. Full cargo. Circuit condition. Oh right, I have a little bit of coal. Nifty. Oh hey, I didn't need to do the loop-de-loop thing. Yay! Yeah, you're gonna have 1 stack each because a stack size of stone brick is 1,000 units. It's a few. And that's gonna take a little while to fill up at 3.75 per second. Stone bricks. Supply to depot. Full cargo. Circuit condition. Go. The mod overhaul experience is made significantly easier if you have Hell mod, as well as some train manager. A train manager mod. I use train supply manager. Train supply manager is another mod that exists, but is far more tedious to work with. Also far more powerful, and also uses far more resources, system resources, and performance and all that. That helps. Hell mod helps. Actual craft time helps, which is you click on a building and it's this pop-up. This guy right here. That's actual craft time. Lets you adjust the machines on a slider on the fly. Be careful of what you set your slider to, because it can hang the game a little bit. And what is it really used for? Is great. I can just search for stone brick. Just Control F, search stone brick. Like, find stone bricks. There it is. Product of this recipe. Ingredient in all of these recipes in a convenient slider. Just shows you the ingredient and product for the thing that you've searched for in one UI, as well as shows you the recipe information in one UI, all at the same time. I really hate FNEI because it can be difficult to tell whether or not you are on the ingredient in the product of page. It splits these onto completely separate like UI windows on FNEI, and I don't like that, and I also don't like that you're paged for each individual recipe. It's like you look at each individual recipe on each individual page, that you have to go page by page, and you don't get any list at all in a convenient GUI with FNEI. It's nuts. I don't like it. It's very poorly designed UI. Very. Oh, hello. Dolly's returned, and Dolly has brought me another of the favorite toys. Yes. This is soft plastic spring. Spring! It's spring. The kittens love spring. Go get spring. Oh hey, Ollie was here too. They both chased spring. Spring is... Oh boy, they go nuts. They go completely bonkers for springs. And bottle cap for Dolly. Of the, like, simplest of simple stuff, spring is her... is both their favorite. Just little plastic spring. We got, like, a pack of, like, 6 or 8 of those springs. They've disappeared. They're gone. They're all under furniture, under appliances. Like, every few weeks we could just go and do like, take a stick and run it under the oven and just get pile of a whole bunch of bottle caps and the springs and all of that. Their toys end up everywhere because they just bat them around doing nothing, doing all of the playful stuff. I need stone defined as a priority, as well as the stone brick. Now, where did the stone brick go? Oh joy, what tab is stone brick? Let's hunt that down. Where did it go? I know I can just search, but I need to know what I'm looking for. It is... I would think in this tab, but no. Metallurgy? There's the stack of stone bricks, so stone bricks exists here. Under metallurgy smelting. There we go. D stone brick. D stone bricks 1. The first of many. Now we can do military science. This will need a train station to make the military science. That will bring in a few things. So this is going to be iron, stone, brick, coal, copper on the inputs. And it will output the military science. I need to, like, do across the board. That's this button. Apply the current factory on the production line. That applies it to the entire line. This button would apply it to the entire block. What is the difference between a line and block in Hellmod? This window right here, this is the block. This is the production block right in here with all these settings, the input, output. Over here, this is the blocks that are in the line. This is the entire production line. So if I make a change on this block to, say, the red assembling machines, and use this button here to apply that to the entire line, it's going to change all the buildings in the other blocks as well to this assembling machine. That's the main difference. The line applies to all of the blocks in that same line. And each of these icons is a production line. And you can have as many arbitrary number of blocks within that line as you want. So in most cases, it's one block in a line for me to keep track of stuff, but in other cases where I, like in my Crastorio playthrough, I've put one production line with a block for each of the different types of science packs. Just put all of the science packs in a single production line as separate production blocks. That would be a good way. Say you are planning out, you want to produce a certain amount of each and every type of science that exists in the game, in whatever mod pack you're using. Well, you can put each science as a different production block, and then you can go through all of the shared inputs and put at the end linked blocks to show you the total production across everything in the line of each of the inputs for those science packs. You can actually have this combined linked block at the end for, say, how many green circuits do I need in grand total? Say you've already broken down like all the blue, red, etc., or whatever mod pack you're using, the equivalents of all of the circuits, and you want to know how many base level, first level circuits do you need. That's how you can do it, is through the linked block stuff in Hellmod. It's great to be able to determine grand totals, but you can also change buildings as you go through the tech levels quite easily across an entire line as well as across an entire block. So, with that said, I was looking at my military production block, and I need to pin it, and I need to set up a new train station for it. Now, this is science. So I need to decide where science is going to live. I also need steel. Yes, steel. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in and 1 out. 5 in, 1 out. Copper, steel, iron, coal, and bricks. That is what I need. All of those things. There's like a 20-ish second delay, by the way, or so, 20 or 30 second delay, so you will eventually see it. Or maybe it's lower than that, I don't know. Delay exists. Let's see here. I am going to reserve this outward line in here, the continuation of this, for ore and ore processing into the ingots and plates. Kitten? Who was that making, like, destroying the chair behind me again? I have a chair behind me, right behind my green screen, a desk chair. That is this fake leather material. And we have 2 7.5-month-old kittens. And they love to climb with their claws. So, when I say that they are destroying the chair behind me, I mean they are destroying the chair behind me. Fortunately, the material was already degrading in the first place. There isn't too much that they could do to continue to destroy the chair besides, well, literally finish removing all of the material off of it. It was already shedding to begin with. It looked awful. I've stopped using that chair for a while at this point, but I need to replace it. I need to replace it for something else at some point. Cause yeah, this chair is nice, but it's not mine technically. I need a me chair. I've used this chair the most. It's technically not mine. And it's like super old now. Super old and super huge, this particular Serta chair. Okay, I'm going over here to remove. Do I want to remove, though? It is convenient. What? Hold up. It just... it mars one signal. Like, this works-ish, but it needs to be like chain signals. No, I'm just gonna delete. Okay. Right around here, this will be like Science Center, I guess. Let's get the doohickeys going. I'm going to use similar spacing to previously, where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think that's the spacing. 4 power poles. Yes, that is the spacing. On the other side, and you can probably see why I may want to move this train station for the wood a little bit so that I can upgrade this intersection and move this fuel stop intersection a little bit higher so that I can upgrade this intersection to be very high throughput, because we're going to have ore processing here and science here. And all the inputs and outputs regarding, well, not the outputs regarding the science, because I'm going to do the processing of the science out this way, but all of the science inputs will need to go through here. Anyway, I'm just looking to the side. Like, give me vote totals, please. Keep showing the vote totals. I want to see the vote totals. North Carolina vote totals haven't changed in like over 24 hours. It's been sitting at 95% for over a day. And we've had nothing come in there. It's like, there's still 5% out. Estimated. It's like, what? What's going on with North Carolina? It's like, that percent matters in this election. Anyway, let's get ourselves our regular station, because I have to plan out what's going to be where. So this is going to be the station for what? Let's make this the science processing station. It won't need an input, or it won't need an output, so I'll convert it to a request on there. And it won't need the supply stops on it, but yeah, the throughput's not going to be that bad, I would think. I'll give it a couple of the offshoots there. And then the other side's probably just going to be the automation science, and the transport, and I guess this will be mill. Alright. I do need at least the 2 train stations going forward. Come on, get rid of this, get rid of that. Ugh, I need my termite bots. Termite bots! Wherefore art thou, termite bots? Destroy the trees, the ultimate enemy. Destroy the trees. Alright, I'm gonna need to pick up science labs too. Am I even making science labs in my mall? That would be a no. These guys. Hey. Hey guys, make those, and then... I don't need to... yes, I copy that and then paste it over Is it gonna add or replace? It replaces. Boom. There we go. There we go. That's good. 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 I need a limit. I don't... Oh, right. Nanobots. Limit to 50. Copy paste. Copy paste. There we go. That limits this chest. I can't show it limited here due to the reach, but it's limited. Don't you love game mechanics? I love game mechanics. Game mechanics are awesome, especially when they're inconsistent. It's like, oh yeah, you can't, you're not allowed to reach over there to change the recipe? Oh sure, just copy paste. You can paste infinite distance from stuff. There's no problem with that. No problem with pasting an infinite distance away at all. But don't forget, you can't. You're not allowed. You are not allowed to actually change a recipe, add a distance. There is no capability for changing a recipe at a distance. Don't even try it. You can't. It's not possible. You can't check on a machine if you're too far away from it. You can't click on or check a machine if you're too far away from it. You're not supposed to change things, modify things in any way. But hey, you can place a blueprint anywhere. And the blueprint will replace existing machines' recipes. Sure, that sounds like a great idea. It's fantabulous of an idea. Okay, as I had said, I need to replace... Oops. I need to replace this setup with this setup. Ta-da! So this is going to be... How many train stations in grand total? A few. I need... automation, transport, chemical, and then there is an extra science pack, if I'm not mistaken. There's production, there's utility, there's space, there's military, and there is a separate pink logistic science. In this, do I go with the plant life? I may have to. We shall see. Maybe I'll plan around it. But yeah, if I scroll to the final text, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Logistic science, production, utility, and space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How funny. Rocket launch products. A fish. Fishy! Is that like your clue to launch a fish? I mean, it must be the clue. Launch a fish. By the way, launch a fish. Yeah. Pro tip, launch a fish. How many? I already, like, didn't, I can't count. I've forgotten. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of these science packs. 1, 2, 3. Copy, like, the whole dang thing. 4, 5, 6, 7. If I want the plant one, that would be 8. I should have more stuff in my vehicle. Termites, do the business for me of destroying the everything. Really? No power poles left, huh? Yeah, no medium power poles are left. I need additional power poles, oh no. Oh hey, something came in on Nevada. A little bit. Interesting. It changed nothing. Literally nothing has changed. Let's have a look. I just need to get into the vehicle to keep placing things. Do I have like an emergency stash of medium power poles in here? No. Sadly, I do not. So I still need to go back to get more power poles, no matter what. And then over here, this thing, I probably have the rails and all that good stuff. So let's do the building of this, even though I don't have the medium power poles completely. Let us go and do this. This will be my military science, which I believe I said I need 5. 1, that's 4 and 5. You know, just a few train stations or requester stations in here. I am out of requester. Hey, I have run out of bulk rail unloaders. Cool. Modules do require their own sciences, yes, but I am not going to be doing module science here because module science is completely separate. It is a completely separate type of science lab that you use for this. And the production and science for modules is going to be elsewhere. I usually do it in my mall area, but we shall see. I may have a dedicated spot factory doing modules in this particular playthrough for the Bob's modules. But yes, I do understand that modules are more science technically, but they're all components of modules and are in their own module lab, which actually becomes completely superfluous once you've gotten all of the techs for modules. But yeah, for now, you are good to have, as are... Probably need more of these, definitely more of these. Lots more of those, more of those. Definitely more of these. And a little bit more of those, sure. Grab more of those just in case, as well as more of those. Good to have on hand, always. I think regular train stops are fine for now. And I, of course, need more rail. Let's fill the vehicle with additional stuff. Some emergency medium power poles would be great to keep on hand in the vehicle. I do not need that much of those. Ooh, I need things. Also, that can go away. I need what? Oh, I have spare. Hi. I have some spare things. Yeah, I think I'm fine on my items. Anything egregiously missing? I don't think so. I'll find out if anything's egregiously missing. Oh, right, the, flare stacks. I could use some of those. Wherever I'm building them. Flare stacks? Ah, here, right in front of me. Of course! They're in the most obvious location ever. Right in front of you. And still I am blind. Alright, fill the inventory with even more rail. Must have the rail. All of the rail. Right up there. Rail! I'll take a few units of that. Also, I've got enough of those inserters right now. We're good. Have some rail. That's a good mix to keep in my inventory as well. I'll take all of it. Let's get going. Try not to get hit by a train on the way. That would be not nice. It's good to see that there are more results coming in Nevada. This has taken a long time before they've released additional results. I'd like to see additional results in North Carolina, but that hasn't happened in well over a day at this point. Anyway, let's get these power poles placed. And get the labs down. Now, I prefer doing a single line of labs. There are folks who do the whole daisy chaining of labs with inserters between them. I don't really like doing that because there ends up being... Like, if I have a lab here and I put just inserters between labs like this, whenever the inserters are inserting, the labs are not moving. And I don't like how that works. So we've determined that this is how many? 8. Oh boy. 1, 2, or up to 8. Normally 7. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's it, we're done. Just casual. Of course, I'll be sharing lines. And don't you worry about rocket launches. We're going to have lots. Lots and lots. I have not really truly decided what the science per second output plan is for this base right now. In particular because, well, just finishing the game is going to need a lot of output of aluminum, in particular, aluminium. Do I still have that paste of... I have you. No, I need a spot where I've done a shared belt. Have I done a shared belt? Yes. No. Not there. I may not have done a shared output yet in Space Angels here. I know I've done it in Crastorio, but I probably haven't here. If I did, it would be one of the electronics, and no, and no. No to all of this as well. Yeah, I think I've very specifically been avoiding actually doing the shared lines, but here, this is where it becomes a little bit more useful. So, we see all this, and then I just copy it and paste it every other, and there's my 4 yellow belts. Ta-da! Now, what's what is always the greatest of questions. Which input's going to be which input? So this is going to be R requesting automation science. I guess I'll just say automation science at science. Request transport science at science. R military science at science. R chemical science at science. We're going to be R logistics science at science. R production science at science. R utility science at science. R space science at science. I just named that utility science. Pfft. Oops. R US at science. That's all the main sciences, for the exception of the life science. Automation, transport, military, chemical, logistic, production, utility, and space. This does have the spot for the alien plant life sample. We'll adjust if I really do need it. So the alien plant life sample is a product of temperate gardens. It's just given to you out of gardens. There's desert, swamp, and temperate gardens, and you can pick up the gardens off of the map, or you can apparently replicate with more samples. Like, what? One garden makes 32 samples every 400 seconds. Oh god, that's really slow. One garden for 32. And then it's 30 to duplicate a garden. Okay. With alienated fertilizer and mineralized water, which this is alien goo! 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 Glorious goo. And the goo is from the bacteria, which is all this stuff, which we'll need to do anyway. Mushroom tato processing from fruits, pips, and bacteria. Makes fruits, pips, and bacteria. That comes from what now? Mined from Swamp Garden. Mined from Swamp Garden. Okay. The swamp farming. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh wow, you can actually just grow trees. Sure. Grow the temperate swamp and desert trees. 75% chance, not 100. Versus 50. Well, combined 75. It's 3 individual 25s, and that's a little bit different than the additive odds. That's not quite the same. Not quite, anyway. So, basically you're saying that in order to actually start this process, you're going to need at least 2 of the gardens. Because you need 1 to do the samples, and then you have to loop 30 of the samples back to make an additional garden, to keep making the gardens perpetually. And then you can get samples shifted off. Or something. Ooh, hello. What? It is a 1% chance of getting a garden by spending a plant life sample with pulp and water. A 1% chance. Now the question is, this basic farm, does it actually, like, behave the same as a regular selling machine, or is, like, it growing the thing to give you all the seeds and crap? I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is that the military science, I could actually go through and just give these all of the requests at this point. So that's the automation, that's the transport, that's the military, that's the chemical, that is the logistic, that is the production, and utility, and space. Notice how I have ordered my train stations in the exact same order as they appear in the recipe list, without having referenced the recipe list to begin with. This is just how my mind works. My mind does interesting stuffs at times. I'm actually going to do this way, where this is going to be coming down from, or coming up and over from here. We aren't actually making our science yet, but hey, you know what? It's fine. That'll be there as well. Do I particularly care about getting this all sorted with all of the things that I probably don't have right now? Not really. I'll at least get down the line here with these. Attempt to, anyway. I've got a lot of labs. I didn't really pay attention to how many labs I placed. A few. Just a few. Okay, then it's power all the way. Then we can build our military science and provide it on the network, and this will be the infrastructure that I need to, and planned out for getting the other sciences on the network. Which, guess what? I need to do. Which I need to do. Because, yeah, what's the point of having the military science and just have the military science if I don't have the other sciences going into the same labs? You need to have all the sciences in the same lab in order to actually perform the science. So, yeah, we need to do a little bit more than just this mill science. We need to get those other two put onto the network. And can I do that in 30 minutes? Maybe is the answer, particularly because these are all just assembling machines. Like, across the board, every single one of these sciences is just going to be assembling machines. The biggest problem is actually just putting down the train stations for these. That's gonna take the most amount of time. And getting that infrastructure in place, because this means that I have to put down a doohickey there, and one there. And that would have been a great spot for oil. Would have been, but I'm not lacking oil. Of all the things I'm lacking, oil is not one of them. Natural gas is. How many patches of gas wells are there in the available area that I have revealed? Outside of my starting area. The answer is 0. There are a few gas wells in the starting area, and that's it. In the map thus far, it's as if they don't exist. Like, I'm pretty sure I had that setting enabled to give me gas wells. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to check to make sure. But all I see is a thermal water. And a whole bunch of oil. And no gas wells. Can I live without the gas wells? Absolutely, because there is a way to convert the from one to the other. So natural gas is a product. Natural gas, in and of itself, normally mined from a gas well, makes raw gas, ultimately, but raw gas can be obtained from multiphase oil, just not in the same amounts as this. And apparently I can get some of it out of this rancid puffing from puffer refugium processing. Sure, convert ammonia into raw gas. Out of this BS. Sure. I would much rather have the actual stuff. I would much rather have the actuals. This comes later. It lets you convert coal into some natural gas liquids as well as naphtha and mineral oil. And then it's the natural gas liquids get processed into the methane, ethane, butane. The anes. The anes! These are, yeah, stuff. Anes. Supply military science at... no, just military science 1. Request iron at MS1. Request stone bricks at MS1. Probably gonna be the only military science, but whatever. Request... oh. Request coal at MS1. There's a reason why I want to change that order a little bit. R stone bricks at MS1, and then our copper at MS1 and our steel. So I wanted to change the order because I have these nice little things I can copy from next door. Right here. And what that lets me do is this and this. Excuse me. Right there. Bring in the iron plate. Bring in the coal. Bring in the stone bricks, which we discovered is under metallurgy here. Bring in the copper plates. And bring in the steel plates. Okay. Everything is requested at this point. Now to build the infrastructure out. So, a building, 6 buildings, 2 buildings, 7 buildings. The infrastructure. First comes the production of these, as well as walls, and then grenades. Glorious grenades. This is why I wanted the iron coal shared line. These guys. Now, it is 1 to 2. Realistically speaking, I should have this built in this manner. So that's what I'll do. I will adjust spacing as we go. Where does science live? Science. Not that science. Science of the gray variety. Okay, this is iron. It will get brought in. Just watch out for trains. Needs to split, go down, and over. That will define how we begin this. And then, like this. There we go. Should be the other way. This is going to bring in copper steel from up here, all the way up here. There we go. And this will take stone bricks in. Yeah, I do try to build these to scale, so you know what? This needs to be like that. Don't use the loader there, like, in that way. Stone brick. Last of the raw resources for the military science. And there we go. If everything had power, would be good. This needs to go up and over to there, and then grenades out. Cool. Input, 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 output, 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 output. This goes up. And I said I would adjust the spacing, so I will. This will go here. Ta-da! I am out of belt, nearly. Almost out of inserters as well, stack inserters. Bring down these. Power it all on. Ta-da! Oh, right, power. There we go. Piercing rounds, walls, and grenades. This is the vanilla recipe. Nothing really is different about this by comparison to the vanilla recipe. It's the vanilla recipe. It needs outputs on all of this. And I need belt. I don't really need belt because I have red belt. It's just a little bit of a waste of red belt, to be completely honest. But hey, we'll live with it. Bring it over and down a little bit more. There's our science. Locomotive. Double wagon. Limit this stuff. This is making 1 per second. Just, it's not much. In the end, uses most of my stone bricks. All of my stone bricks. I don't have enough stone brick production for even the one out. But military science isn't going to get used too awfully much, ideally. Supply, I didn't rename the depot area. Full cargo, circuit condition, go. And then, as long as I just define mill science, or define the science in general, I know I'm building this a little out of order, so that means the final things will be out of order a bit. That's the one. Depot Military Science, DMS, not to be confused with PySuite DMS, which is dimethyl sulfide, which is a type of a fluid slash gas that gets used in the PySuite for stuff. That's that production block. All taken care of. Time to move on to getting the automation science on the train network, followed by the transport science. Right after that, we have about 17 minutes left in the regularly scheduled stream. I will attempt to get through this, all of it, today, but we shall see about that. Make that determination as I do a couple of checks of things. Looks like everything is good on my end here. We have 0 dropped frames, which is a fantastic thing, especially after the last stream, which was far from 0 drop frames. There were 5 figures worth of drop frames in the previous stream, which I do apologize for. I didn't really have too much of a say in the matter. Get rid of X. What? My trash slots are full. Oh noes. I need to go back to the mall because I need to pick up more rail signals, plural, and yeah, let's go. Yeah, everything should be good. I just wish I had actually set this to a little bit of a higher bitrate than what I am right now. I'm uploading at 6 megabits per second, 6,000 kilobits. I would rather that be 10 rather than 6, but my internet doesn't quite stay working very well. Oh, I actually do have the rail signals. What I ran out of was the ammo. Hey, I need a little ammo. I need other things too. I need belt. Just belt. Lots of belt. I need to get my bots around to remove stuff from my inventory so that I can throw out even more stuff from my inventory. Yay! I may as well get more rail signals while I'm here. Just a few. How is this stuff looking? Fine. Let's get more yellow belt. In my mall itself, I'm not making a big buffer of yellow belt, but my belt mall, the belt-based mall up here, this is my buffer of yellow belt. Could use more splitters. And one more thing of undergrounds, just in case. Okay, we're good. Coffee. And big stretch. Let's get back to it. Let's get this automation and transport science put onto my train network. The automation science is wood and copper. As I almost get hit by a train. Oh boy. Oh, joy, oh bliss. The transport science is a little bit more than that. It'll take the basic circuit boards, which I do have on my network already, and a few other things. So let's go into here. Or I can do a new production block in here. That might actually be a better idea. So let's do automation, science. I made only 1 per second of the military, so I will plan out the 1 per second here. This is actually just copper and iron, not copper and wood. I am mistaken. I'm thinking of circuits and not these. And then the other one is the transport. Technically, okay, science. We'll do a search for science and get transport science, which is technically logistic science pack. Yeah. The transport science pack is technically the vanilla games logistic science pack. Normally green science. Then the logistic science pack in Angels, Bob's, is advanced dash logistic dash science pack. It's behind my head. Advanced dash logistic dash science dash pack. That's the recipe name on this guy. So that's the new science. But anyway, one of those is one of those and one of those, which is iron and BCBs. Iron and BCBs. That's all I need in on here. Just iron plus BCB. And here is just iron and copper. And a few buildings. Where I'm building on this side on the top, I will build on the opposite side on the bottom, because it's mirrored. Hello, Spider Horse. Welcome. Welcome. Oh right, I haven't... You reminded me by having that emote that I have not made finer detail adjustments to my Streamlabs CloudBot. So settings might be a little bit too restrictive right now. A tad restrictive. Supply. Automation Science 1. R iron at Automation Science 1, and R copper at Automation Science 1. Shared belt. Do I shared belt? I think I shared belt. If I need the throughput later, I'll separate them. Ah! No shared belt, because it's not iron. It's not iron. It's gear wheels, so I need them to be separate at the start. And then they can combine gear wheels. Okay. Iron. That is here. Iron, where are you? There you are. And copper. There we go. Whenever I have iron and copper, they will come and say hello. But yes, I probably need more assembling machines at some point. It'll be this. The irony being that I should probably have them on the opposite sides, but whatever. There we go. Iron. We'll do that. Do that. Oh yeah, I needed more. Inserters! Hello, inserters. Yes, inserters would be great. Give science. That's not the science, that's the science. And this way on the belt. Because yeah, this is going to be 14 inserters. I have 18. Then I'd have to default to using loaders. Which I could do. That would be pretty easy. Power! Power is good, I like power. There's power. Just connect to the grid. The grid! The glorious grid. Just as soon as we get some copper going. I did fix that. The slightest of issues. Right? The copper should exist now, at least. Yes, copper, you exist in a train. Hey, you're going to electronic circuit boards and not here. The downside of having only one train right now moving stuff, even though I have the throughput. Same with the iron. The more things that I get, even though I have stuff on trains, I won't have enough trains to move things where they need to move, because you still have to wait for the train to get to its destination. Regardless, though, I can wrap this up. Bring this down to here. Locomotive, the locoist of locomotives. Where is my vehicle? Way up there, for some reason. Vehicle has train wagons, as well as more locomotives. Yes, the trunk of my car is holding entire locomotives with their wagons. I didn't rename the thingies. You. Supply stations. Depot. Automation Science 1. Supply. Depot. Full cargo and circuit condition. Go! Do not forget to define the supply priority under you. Done! What is left is the transport, and we've got 5 minutes. Yay! 5 minutes. Let's do this. I hope I'm not missing much. I have to take a trip to the mall to pick up additional inserters at minimum. But fortunately, this is also one... I don't need to modify this train station at all for this build. There we go, there's all of that placed. I had enough rail and signals, etc. I just need more inserters. That's the big thing for the moment. And a bit of coal. Oh no, I have the coal. I have the coal in the car. Coal in my vehicle. Let us continue and finish up with this transport science build. So the transport science build, very, very similar. Go ahead and pin that. It's a few factories. 12. I have 15. Perfect. I'll go ahead and grab more factories while I'm here as well. Since I'm in the area. Grab those and grab wherever those factories are. Hello, yellow factory. Yellow factory, yellow, all the way over there. Yes, complete the stack, thanks. Don't need to add another stack, just fill up the stack that I already have. Back we go. 3 minutes. I'm going to finish this build, and then we will end off for the day, regardless of how long it takes. It'll probably take about 10 minutes in total. We shall see. We shall see. Probably faster than that. Who knows? You won't. I won't know until I do it, and I see how much time has passed. Just because it takes like a minute and a half to go back and forth from the mall, each direction. Or a minute each direction, I think. Let's see. That's all of that. So I need to request basic circuit boards at Transport Science 1. I need to request iron at basic circuit boards 1. This is my supply. Did I just really? No. Yes, I did. TS1. TS1. Supply. TS1. And depot. Depot. TS1. All 3 of you. I will copy this guy right here. because I need to do the exact same thing as I did on the other side. Between these. I will not be dumb and do that. And under normal circumstances, I have all this in the same line, but for scaling purposes, everything is going to be separated a bit. I hope that's good enough spacing. No, it's not. Bring that down an extra tile. So, this is iron. It's going to split. It's going to go in to make the gear wheels. It's going to go up, but it's also going to get the gear wheels added onto it. So this is going to be iron plus gear wheels. Iron plus gear wheels, and it's going to make these transport belts. Iron plus gear wheels. But it has to split to do that. And iron plus gear wheels are needed to make these inserters, but you also need the BEBs, or the BCBs for that, so there you go. This has an output belt. As it turns out, I had the exact spacing I needed. Yay! This will output onto a shared belt, and that will go down on those 8 there for making me my glorious transport science packs. They will also output on the other side. Like so. Get all those inserters going. Get the request going for the actual iron plate, circuit board, basic circuit board, and power. And connect the power to the grid. And we are done. Ta-da! Just as soon as a load of iron comes in, that should be the game. That should be it. We should be done. Ready to go. Making science. Locomotive. Was that snapped? Now it's snapped. One set of things. And fuel and TS. Supply. Depot. Full cargo. Not empty cargo, full cargo. And circuit condition, you can be set to automatic. And that, as they say, will be that just as soon as I finish setting this priority for the transport science. We did it! We did it! I now officially can say that I can do military science and pick up blasting charges as a tech. That is the tech that I need to pick up first and foremost. There's a few other techs, like the radar amplification. I would like to do that. The rest comes after, like, the module stuff, but we're not going to do that right now. And that is 3 minutes after the hour. It took me 5 minutes. Hey, what do you know? this is a great place to end off. We got through the production of military science today, as well as scaled up slag production, and built the production of stone and stone bricks on the train network. Quite a bit of progress on this day. I would like to very much thank you all for watching. Please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff below the video. I've got that great big blue join button as well, if you are so inclined, as well as patreon.com/otakushibut if you are so inclined to provide some recurring support. And yeah, I will be back at the usual time on Sunday. Hopefully my internet stays as steady as it was today with its 0 dropped frames. And yeah, I hope to see you all then.